Okay, so I want to welcome all of you. It looks like I've got striped face. There's sun coming through the blinds here. Anyway, welcome all of you to our second Thin It to Win It Zoom call. And the purpose of the Zoom calls is for us to connect, you know, kind of face-to-face or voice-to-voice, rather than just having it, you know, posts typed. And so, and what I've seen in the past with Zoom calls is that some of the best support that people get is through these calls, because, you know, people who go through challenges and they have solutions that they experience, they're just so helpful to other people. So, so anyway, what I wanted us to talk about today was to kind of share what our biggest challenge is. And or you don't have to share both if you can't think of a big challenge, or if you can't think of what's helped you the most. But those are the two topics that I wanted us to share. The biggest challenge, what is your biggest challenge? And it doesn't have to be necessarily since the start of the challenge, but just in general, or since the start of the challenge. And what has helped you the most kind of in your, and it doesn't have to be with that challenge, but because it may be that the challenge that you share with everybody is one that you don't have a solution for yet. And this call can be really helpful for that. And so before we do that, and before we introduce ourselves, I just want to explain, or, you know, apologize, I guess, is really for my absence. We, as of last week, moved from a home in Seattle, or Bainbridge Island, which is near Seattle, that we lived in for 21 years. And that project, the moving project, was unbelievable. It really knocked me for a loop. I just couldn't keep up with this. And I couldn't keep up with anything other than, you know, I was really in kind of survival mode, trying to keep my energy each day, getting, you know, boxes packed and making decisions about what to throw out and all that kind of stuff. So it was an emotionally and physically exhausting period, and it's been throughout the whole challenge up till now. And now I'm free of it. So, but I feel like I was really absent from the room, and so I just want to apologize to you for that. And I wanted to let you know that I'm assuming that those people who filled out the survey form are interested in having some support. And so I'll give you a call. And if you haven't filled out the survey form and you're interested in support, just let me know. You can send me a text or give me a call. My number is 206-890-4797. Because I would love to support all of you, but this is a journey that you're in charge of. I'm not. And, you know, I've tried to hand-hold with people in the past 5 years that I've done coaching, and it doesn't work. It's not, it needs to be, you're the one who's got to be the captain of your ship. When it comes to this, you're the one who has got to kind of drive it. And so if you feel like it would help you to have some accountability support, or whatever kind of support would be helpful, I need you to tell me that you'd like some. If it's from me, let me know, and I would love to provide it. So if you filled out a survey form, I'm just going to assume that you do want the support, and I'll give you a call, and then we can talk about it. But if you haven't, just let me know. Okay, so what else? Oh, I also wanted to let you know that if you have not yet uploaded your weigh-in, the weight thing, it's fine. Today's the last day that you can enter your weight, and today's also the last day that you can invite new people to join the challenge. So if you have people that you'd like to invite, just do it by midnight, because they can join. And if you haven't put your weight in there yet, it's not too late. Just go ahead and put it in now. And as you know, since there are people who can join it by, you know, midnight tonight, obviously if you're just starting to put your weight in and start collecting your points, it's okay. So I want to encourage you, because some people are feeling like, oh my gosh, I never got around to doing the weigh-in, and so it's really too late for me to do that. It's not. It's not too late. You can do it. Just do it by midnight, and you'll be fine. So anybody have any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. And I kind of explained on the on the page in one of my posts today, it explained kind of, how you do the weigh-in. Some ideas, if you have questions about that, again, and you can also just call me and ask me too if you have any questions. But do it, because it's just more fun to kind of you're in the game that way. You can win, and it's not too late. So you have enough time to get enough points. And so anyway, I encourage you to do that. Okay, so let's how about if we just introduce ourselves and say a little bit about how about if we introduce ourselves? You can say whatever you want to say about you, and also if you'd also like to share about what's your biggest challenge been, or what have you found to be really kind of a great tip, something that's really helped you. So Gail, since you're next to me in the picture lineup, do you want to start?
I will. And you talked about your moving, and I understand a lot because we had just gotten back from vacation and helping our daughter and family move. And so they moved from a 3-story house to a different house. So they had a lot of furniture to move and did a lot of cleaning on both houses. You know how it is. You clean the old one and the new one. And so I was able to lose 5 pounds while I was doing it, and I didn't realize it. I got back home. So it really gave me a lift and put me into a good place to continue in the mode of losing weight.
So happy for you. Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And so I really enjoy all the different things online to get points, because it just keeps your mind on it all the time. And so I guess that's, in a nutshell, that it's helped me the most.
Good.
And so it's been inspiring to me. But I was at the top of my, so that's why I'm really glad to get back down and lose. So
isn't that a relief? Particularly when I was at the beginning of this challenge, I was at the top of my weight range too. And now I've lost probably about the same as you, and oh my gosh, it feels so much better.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It is such a relief. Yeah. So I'm just
yeah.
But otherwise, otherwise that's about it. I was thinking today, if I got more sleep, then I'd have more energy to work out too. So that type of thing, and it all goes hand in hand.
It does. And the sleep issue is such a big issue for so many people, and it's really complicated because not only do you not have the energy, you don't feel that great, and so you don't have the energy to exercise. I have a tendency to overeat when I'm tired. By the way, on that subject, make sure that I don't forget to talk a little bit about the webinar, the weekly webinar that's on the website.
Okay.
It's so good. But anyway, it talks about eating when you're tired. So anyway, I'll get back to that. I don't want to go off on that now, but I do want to make sure to talk about it before we hang up. But so there's always that, just you don't feel as good, but it also physiologically affects you in a way that it's harder to lose weight. I mean, weight loss can slow down, and often does, if somebody's not getting enough sleep. And I've had clients who shifted their sleep and they started losing weight again. They started getting more sleep, and then they started losing weight again. So I think you're right. That's a big, important thing. And you have Dr. A's Habits of Health, the books that we use for Habits of Health books, don't you, Gail?
In a physical form?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. Because there's a chapter, I think it's chapter 18 on sleep. that is really good. But yeah, he covers all the habits of all the various habits. I really recommend the book to you.
Okay.
But anyway, he talks about sort of how you can set it up so that your environment supports you in sleeping. Like he says, no TV in your bedroom, that really is not a good thing to have a TV in your bedroom. I've had clients that it took them a year to get the TV out of their bedroom, but when they finally did, they realized it was better for them. Even though what they used to do is fall asleep to the TV, apparently it's not as restful.
Yeah.
Dim lights. They're just, have the same bedtime every night. Have a wind down period of time. Don't make excuses for staying up later. Those kinds of things can really help establish an earlier bedtime. So you might just get more conscious about that, because I think you're right. That would really help you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Great. Thanks. Okay. It looks like Stephanie's busy with Lewis. So, Lori, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lori Christopher. I live in Bothell, Washington, and I am, let's see, well, I own my own business. I'm a graphic designer, and I have my own business that I run out of our home, and it can be very stressful, and, it's not like a regular job where you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's not that regular, and it can be, the money part can be very stressful, and just, there's a lot of things about working at home that can be stressful. So those can, I have to really be conscious of not letting those things, because I will tend to eat when life, is challenging that way. So one of my challenges is not to be so challenged, with the stress of the day-to-day life, and that then I'm not running for comfort food or something to kind of make me feel better. So, and I just got this from a yoga weekend, and that gave me a lot of good tools there on how to deal with, how to put joy in your life, how to, to deal with people, who are going through whatever challenges they have. And it helps me wind down at the end of the day when I, practice and I have a regular sort of yoga practice and add some meditation. And those kinds of calming things are really sort of helping me be a happier person in general. And it's helping me deal with, stressors as they come up in a more positive way. So that's one thing that's helping me a lot. I'm finding, my biggest challenge, I still have these cravings for, sugar, or maybe it's carb craving, I'm not sure, but, those, not giving into them, but I'm just noticing that the pull in that direction is still pretty strong. So any help in how to, sort of deal with those sorts of cravings, even though I'm eating, every, 2 hours, and healthy foods and healthy choices, and I've got a big jug of water that I finish off every day, and I, try and get exercise and get up and get out and walk around and stuff. And still, it's like the food challenges for me tend to be towards the sweets or the starchy sorts of things. But it's getting better, but that's still probably my biggest challenge. And so if he has any tips there, I'd be all open to that. But otherwise, it's going pretty good, even after the yoga weekend, which included, food. It was all healthy eating, and we did so much exercise. I was down 2 pounds. So
yay! How nice.
I know.
If you could just live at a yoga retreat, you'd be set.
Oh, I would be totally set. Yeah, absolutely. My life would be complete.
Yeah. Thank you. So, do you guys have any ideas for her? I mean, as far as the cravings issue, any solutions that you have? Things that might help?
Maybe having healthy snacks nearby. Maybe.
Yeah, that does help. I have, some nuts and seeds and things that I'll chew on, and try and go to those first, and then try to divert my attention long enough for that, the craving goes away. And that's probably helping the most. Like I say, I'm just more aware of the fact that it's still a real, desire. I would love to be able to have that piece of cake, or, some pasta or, something that really is not working in my favor, but would make me happy. And maybe it's going back to this, it's just a comfort food, and I gotta, again, focus more on healthy responses to stressors. Maybe that might help.
Were you going to say something, Stephanie?
Well, I was just going to maybe say this, but you don't have those things in the house, do you? That's the biggest thing that I changed. So you're just trying to fight I just snack on, whenever I get a craving, I snack on whatever healthy option I have there, and I make sure not to have any of that stuff in the house. So
yeah.
But as far as not getting the cravings, so I can't help. Okay. Lewis, have some advice too? Wow, we are very excited about the call today. I really wish Mommy could focus. Okay, yeah. So sorry I can't help anymore, but that's the biggest thing I do. Try to keep it out of my reach.
No, that's good. And I have two boys, my husband and my 18-year-old son in the house too, and so they're not on the challenge. So there are normal foods around, which but not everything. I mean, they're both really watching the sweets and the desserts and that sort of stuff. So that's definitely not in the house. But they have a big old bowl of pasta for dinner and that sort of stuff. That oh gosh, I wish I could have that. That looks really good.
Yeah. And so I am going to bring up this. Lori, have you seen the webinar, the weekly webinar that's in the In It to Win It?
I have watched. Is that? I think I've seen some of them. Maybe I haven't seen the most recent one.
So there's a recent one on the two-part brain.
Okay.
Have you seen that? It talks about the limbic brain and the prefrontal cortex.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. It is so good. It's so good. And I was thinking next week of going into that further, because it just talks about how your limbic brain it's what they call our reptilian brain, and how it's the instinctual part of our brain that is not rational, moral, or logical, and it's got three goals or three reasons for being. One is survival, two is to avoid pain, and three is to seek pleasure. And it is, so what happens when, particularly if we're really tired or, stressed or something like that, then there is a need to avoid pain because you're in pain. To me, that feels like pain. I'm uncomfortable, I'm stressed, or I don't like the feeling. It could just be an agitation that I'm feeling. And seek pleasure. So two of its reasons for being are kind of activated when you're tired and you see that bowl of pasta, and so it's pretty interesting to me. And what he says is when the limbic system gets activated, he said we have an acronym BLAST, and this is what causes the limbic system to get activated. B for bored, L for lonely, A for angry, S for stressed, and T for tired. All of those activate the limbic system, the lower functioning brain, which doesn't think, it just reacts. And so anyway, I think it's super helpful. So that's one thing I would recommend to you. And then the other thing, so are you doing the program at this point? No,
not yet.
Okay. So what I found, when I was able to get myself off of sugar, which I'd been addicted to my whole life, it was by doing the program. And actually, I just did it religiously for 3 weeks, like really religiously. And making sure that I was eating, you know, a MetaFast meal every 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours, so that I'm getting a balance of protein and carbs. And I would never go over the 3 hours. So you could do this. I just haven't done it with something other than, I mean, what really got me out of that cycle was starting with the MetaFast food, you know, doing the Take Shape for Life program. And then once I went off of eating the meal replacements, I replaced those meal replacements with, you know, half an apple and some almonds. But I was really pretty conscious of how many calories were in it, but I made sure that I had a balance of protein and carbs. And what I found is that I've been able to stay off of sugar mostly, or I don't get the cravings I used to get. But when that is not true is when I go too long, or if I don't get enough protein with the carbs. I need the balance of protein and carbs. If I just get protein, it's not satisfying to me, and there isn't the immediate kick in that I need, and that can get me into a craving. Or if I have too many carbs and not enough protein, that can get me into a craving. So it's just fascinating to me how I have found that it's that balance of protein and carbs, you know, whatever, you know, just to have a balance of the two, and make sure that I don't get too hungry. If I get too hungry, it's all over. I can't, the limbic, I mean, the way I've described it before I kind of understood this limbic stuff is I can get like my dog chasing a rabbit. Like there is no sense, she can't hear, nothing matters other than to get that rabbit. I mean, it's like she is just like, and that's how I get with food. If I particularly, it's the same ones that you like or that you crave, that I crave. It's carbs and sugary things. It's like I don't have any rational brain at that time. If I've gone too long without eating, then all bets are off. And, you know, so for me, having a really strict schedule is really important. And now I'm much better.
Yeah.
I've learned my body, I know the signals a lot better than I used to. I used to override my feelings. I'd ignore the fact that I was too hungry and not eat that much during the day. And then I could eat whatever I wanted at night, I thought. And that's, now I don't do that anymore. And so my body does tell me when it needs to eat, but if I miss it, then it becomes problematic because then I'll eat too much. But that's the one thing that really has made the difference for me with the cravings. But all it takes is when I'm not conscientious enough, when I don't plan, like I would never go anywhere without bringing food with me. I always have little baggies of food, balance of protein and carbs in my purse, because, you know, I have to do that, or I go into that state you're talking about.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's good. Good strategy. And I will, I think, get on the program here probably after about the first week of October, and get that sort of going. And I think, you know, being as dedicated as you are for those first 3 weeks, I'm sure that definitely would help. So,
It really helps. Yeah. And it puts your body, I don't know, it detoxes you and does all those things too, that helps you get out of that. All the cravings.
No, it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Good. Okay. And okay, so Stephanie, did you talk about your challenges and everything?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, please do.
So I have been I started off like gangbusters, and I was really diligent the first week. And Lewis. And then I've just been, I'm doing really good with the food. But not knowing what my challenge is, a little vodka after you told me don't drink wine.
Yeah.
You said not to drink anything, but if you're going to drink vodka. And so I don't have the problem with overeating anymore, and I could feel that my stomach has gotten smaller. One time I was overeating because I was bored or talking, or, you know, just wasn't paying attention, and I felt awful. So I was like, ooh, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I have really feel like I have a good hold on the portion sizes, even when I'm eating off a plan, like eating what my lean and green. But I'm telling you, I'm tired, and when I get tired, I go straight for a cocktail to wind down at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And so that, honestly, I've gained and lost the same 4 pounds over the past 3 weeks, and it's completely annoying.
Yeah, I bet.
It's completely annoying.
Yeah.
So, but I know that's what it's attributed to, because I'm not eating, other than that one time overeating, I'm not eating badly. If anything, I'm not eating enough.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it too.
Yeah. So, and the good thing is I'm sleeping well. I mean, lately Lewis has been not sleeping all the way through the night, so it's been having us up at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. But then I just get up and walk, so that's the good side of that. But then today I felt really sluggish because I just didn't. I know I don't have the right fuel in my body.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it has to be, because you know, in my
So,
former life I was an athlete. So
are you doing the program? Are
it
you
feels
like really doing it 100%?
85%.
Yeah.
Because
So that's
I
enough.
say 100% with the.
That's enough not to be in fat burning, though. I mean, if you're not totally doing it, and it's particularly true if you go too long without eating, like if you go over 3 hours. What happens sometimes with people who have been on the program for a while is they get sloppy with it. And when you get sloppy with it, then, you know, that's enough to kick you out of fat burning often. And so I have 2 suggestions for you. We're going to get kicked off the call in 7 minutes, but 2 suggestions for you. One is, and I don't, if you're willing to do this, well, I mean, the first thing is to reread the Quick Start Guide as though you've never been on the program. Because what happens is people end up cutting corners after they've been doing it for a while. And where you are right now is such a common place for people to get after a while. It's just really common, and it's because we cut corners. So, and the second thing is, if you were willing for like 3 days, say Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, to write down exactly what you eat and drink at what time. Then we could talk and look at what's going on. And this works, honestly, 99% of the time. When people write down exactly what they're eating and drinking and when, it gets them to stop cutting corners. And so, but we can talk about it if, you know, you get to the end of the 3 days and you've done that, then let's talk about what's happened. And there was one other thing. What was I going to say? I'm really excited about your portion sizes, though, because that's a long-term habit of health that is going to really help you maintain your weight forever. So that's one of those things that's just such a big thing accomplished. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I think so. Those are the 2 things I would suggest. And then I suggest that you and I talk this weekend and talk about the 3 days.
Yeah, so that's the challenge. I leave in the morning, Vegas for work. I'm a business owner. It's just not in alignment. So I'm in a hotel for the week. Yeah.
Is that when? So is that?
Bringing my food.
You went off. We couldn't hear you. So what did you say?
Oh, so I leave for Las Vegas in the morning all through Saturday. And so that my life has just been out of whack for the last few weeks. And
well, you might start on Monday.
Okay. I'd even be good with starting like Sunday, like ready to go. But I know starting now is just gonna lead to disappointment.
Yeah. So
with this convention.
So by Sunday morning, reread the Quick Start Guide, and then do it Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then you and I can talk either right before this call or right after this call next week.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
That's great. Okay. So we have 4 minutes, little over 4 minutes left, and we have one other phone caller. Who is the 425 number?
Oh, that's me, Penny.
Hi, Penny. Welcome.
Hi.
So we
made it.
I'm so glad. We had just have a couple minutes left before the Zoom's going to kick us off, but welcome. And we were just talking about either sharing what is our biggest challenge and or what has helped you the most.
My biggest challenge is learning how to eat healthy all of the time, which I did the last challenge, and it really, it was beneficial to the point where I had my favorite Albertsons cookies I would buy every week, and I have not bought a bag of them since May.
Wow, wow.
So I'm not a cake person. I'm not a cupcake person. I'm not a muffin person. Mine was Albertsons cookies. And they all stay in the store, and I just walk by them now.
Wow.
What I've learned, and I learned this yesterday as I was standing in QFC going, I should be making a different choice. And I went, I'm making the best choice for what I'm doing right now. I've learned that when I run long distances, that I need to have sodium waiting for me to consume at the other end.
Oh, good for you.
In some direction. So this is like the third time it's happened. And I was like, oh, I need sodium because I ate before I went to work, but it wasn't enough to replenish me from my run.
Yeah.
And so then I'm leaving there and I'm like, I've got to eat. I have just got to eat. It's like, what do I need to eat? Oh, that's right, sodium.
Yeah.
And so I bought a chicken tender, and it's like, I bought one. It's like, but you know what? I needed the salt.
Yeah. Well, and that's
it was
one thing we often will recommend Powerade Zero for that purpose. It has electrolytes and sodium, and it doesn't have calories, and it really, really can help the balance. But that's a great thing if it's just sodium you need, anything with salt. Good for you. And you got protein.
Yeah, so it was right. So protein and sodium, because I didn't quite get enough protein on my way to work, and I still ate dinner after that. But it was just like this awareness. And I always ask myself, you know, when I'm doing something, it's like, why am I eating this?
Yeah.
But overall, my eating has improved a whole bunch.
That makes me so happy.
You know, and we're transitioning to whole grains more and more, and there's some whole grain things I can't eat. I won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm sure it's helping me with running and with yoga and everything else. It's got to be. Today I was told we can't have our water bottles in our classrooms anymore.
Yikes.
And it was just like, wow, because I've had mine in the back corner. Yeah. And it's like, because our supervisor says they're like tippy cups. And a couple of the teachers are going, oh, we can't have our water here anymore. What are we going to do?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That would be really hard for me.
So today, and I had to put mine in the cupboard today because of the space on the counter. And it was like, whoa, I haven't drank water for 2 hours. And it is so warm in there.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yes, I share with everybody consumption of water and how to keep track of it and how much you need. And they're just like looking at me like, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you'll feel so much better.
Yeah, it's so important. Okay, sorry to cut you off. We're going to get cut off by Zoom. So the last thing I want to say, I'm so glad that you got on, Penny, and sorry you missed the first part of it. The recording.
Oh, no, I've been on.
Oh, good. The recording will be on the website, and I just, again, want to encourage everybody to look at the webinar this week. It's fantastic, and we'll discuss that some next week. It's the weekly webinar on the Meltdown Challenge. So, Stephanie, try to get to that. If that's all you do, just get to that, okay? All right. Great. All right. Thanks, you guys. It was wonderful spending the time with you. Talk to you all next week.
Thank you.
Okay.